Survivor Finale Week is here, and with that comes an overload of Survivor content to enjoy. With Season 41 coming to an end, we will soon be discussing everything Season 42. But before we get there, we still have a few more videos planned out for Season 41. If you were watching this video when it first came out, we are making daily Survivor videos on this channel all December long leading up to Christmas. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of it. However, this isn't just a regular Survivor video, as I would like to say this is a very special project that I've been working alongside fellow Survivor YouTuber FlynnMasters to give you all the 10 most iconic moments from Season 41 going into the finale. This dude makes amazing weekly Survivor videos, and I highly suggest you go check him out. Actually, I'm gonna have you stop what you're doing right now. Please go watch part 1 of this video on FlynnMasters' channel, go subscribe to him, and once you finish part 1, come back here for part 2. The entire theme of this season was centered around the idea of dropping the 4 and leaving the 1, and that exact theme is gonna be the number 5 moment on the list. Using the word choice iconic actually made this list tougher than you might think, as there were lots of iconic twists this season, but I would argue at the same time the twists weren't considered good, just iconic. Whether it be the do or die twist, the hourglass twist, or even the multiple summit adventures, the Survivor producers went out of their way this season to try new things. Please let me know in the comments which one you felt worked the best. Without a doubt, I thought the most interesting one to watch was the do or die twist. The do or die twist is an excellent example of something that plays off amazing as a TV moment, but I would hate to see it worked into every season for just how brutal the twist can become, as not even a hidden immunity idol can save you. However, for all the heat the do or die twist has received, I really enjoyed how Jeff Probst gave the players the option to sit out of the challenge if they really wanted to, as it still left some control in the players' hands.
You don't have to participate in this challenge. That's your choice. If you don't, obviously you can't win immunity. But if you participate and you're first out, you could be gone without a vote.
Ultimately, Deshaun was able to survive the twist and was immune from the vote. However, this made math professors across the world angry, as statistically speaking, it's always better to switch boxes the second time around.
So in effect, Jeff is offering the choice of, Deshaun, do you want box A, or do you want the better of box B and C?
What's going on, guys? My name is FlynnMasters. I do a range of Survivor videos, from Foreign Survivor, Countdown List, and General Analyst. You can find all sorts of content on my channel that I'm sure you'll love, and a big thanks to RussellMuscleTV for having me on. And speaking of loved, Naseer just might be the most beloved under-the-radar player in Survivor history. The dude was already a massive fan favorite coming into the season when fans found out that he learned the English language from Survivor. I mean, how awesome is that? And despite not looking like a massive challenge threat, Naseer was an absolute beast out there, as he was the heart and soul of the dominant Luvu tribe, even winning Luvu a challenge basically all by himself. Naseer was such a kind-hearted soul who played hard not only for himself, but for his tribe, and is without question one of the best personalities in the entire Season 41 cast. And so, it made it all that much better when the fans were blindsided that Naseer was the one to finally find Luvu's idol, and all the idols in the game were now activated.
I am as confused as a goat on AstroTurf. Oh my god.
Again, not only was this moment a complete blindside for the fans watching at home, but after the initial shock, fans were extremely happy, especially since the twist had been so bad up until that point, essentially being harmful to Xander and Brad, when an idol should be the exact opposite from harmful. Not only did this mean we finally had the idols in the game with no more disadvantages that came with it, but we had no idea up until that point if they ever would be activated, and the idol holders on Yasai and Ua would be screwed all game. But the man to save the day, as expected, was Naseer, activating the idols with a now iconic Survivor phrase, giving fans even more of a reason to love Naseer.
Yeah.
Number 3. We have Luvu's hilarious and yet pathetic attempt at throwing the immunity challenge in episode 4. Looking at Erika's Survivor game today, we can see she has an amazing strategic mind, but all the way back in episode 4, it really felt like she was getting a pretty severe case of big move-itis when she went up to Deshaun about wanting to blindside Sydney. Okay, Erika ended up not looking the best in this situation, as Deshaun exposes Erika as soon as he can. Deshaun obviously goes right to Sydney, exposing Erika's entire plan to blindside her. I understand why it's so hard to give a tribe that was so dominant in challenges, any strategic screen time, but I remember being very confused about who was aligned with who on this tribe. Deshaun, Sydney, and Danny discussed throwing the challenge in order to blindside Erika. Erika, who is now sitting in the final 5. How this challenge was put together from an editing standpoint makes it the best challenge of the season, and maybe the best challenge in the past 10 years of Survivor. We have the Ua and Yase tribes really needing to win as they only have 4 players left and don't want to be down to 3. And then at the same time we have Luvu, who really wants to lose the challenge. Rollback to Survivor Cagayan as the Brawn tribe fails to throw their challenge. With all of Deshaun's efforts, Luvu is unable to throw the challenge, even with moving at a snail's pace, retying knots, and failing at throwing the rings. This unstoppable blue tribe is still able to come through with the victory. 10 out of 10 challenge from start to finish, showing that Naseer is just too much of a beast to lose a challenge.
Naseer was just the man at that challenge. He had this moment, and I'm proud of him because Naseer is a good guy. He deserves the moment. I just didn't want that moment to be at that challenge.
At number 2 is what many people might consider number 1, as this moment was unreal to watch play out, and that is Xander's bluff on Liana at the Merged Tribal Council. Again, let's look back on everything that led up to this moment. The girls were working together, and had Xander not won basically all the immunity challenges for them, this bluff would have never happened, as he would have gone home had Yase attended another pre-merged tribal council. And another reason why this bluff even happened in the first place was due to Liana flipping on Yase to side with Shan and the majority. And due to the immunity idols being super obvious because of the secret phrases, Liana knew for the longest time that Xander would eventually get an idol, and with her knowledge's power advantage, there was nothing Xander would be able to do, and Liana would steal the idol from him. However, Xander pulled off some insane acting with a great strategic play, given the real idol to Tiffany, the least likely of the Yase 3 that Liana would ask, and created a fake idol, completely fooling everyone in the game that it was in fact a real idol. And considering everything that happened between Liana and Xander this season, it's even more satisfying to look back on, as this was one of the better moments in modern Survivor history.
Do you have an idol, Xander?
No, but you can have this fake.
And the number 1 most iconic moment from Survivor 41 needs to be the Shan blindside, or honestly the entirety of episode 10. Close your eyes and remember this: Ricard and Shan have been in a tight alliance all season long, and being the final 2 members of their tribe, they grew very close, but at the same time they knew that one day they would need to turn on each other. Ricard ends up winning the reward challenge, and in normal Survivor fashion, Jeff Probst tells him he can have 3 people join him. Ricard ends up picking Shan, Xander, and Heather, but I get the sense that Xander and Heather are crashing the party, as Shan and Ricard have a very serious one-on-one conversation about their situation in the game and how difficult it is to play Survivor at the highest level. Ultimately, they understand that they can't take each other to the end of the game and will need to turn on each other eventually.
I don't know how to do this because I feel like you're my best friend on this island.
Meanwhile, we have Danny, Deshaun, and Liana back at camp scheming to get Ricard voted out of the game. Danny wants to make a big move here, and with Deshaun discusses the possibility of voting out Ricard. They decide to bring Liana in on the plan, which is risky as Liana is insanely close with Shan. The plan to blindside Ricard is 100% genius by Deshaun and Danny because it isolates Shan alone without having anyone else to work with. But Danny and Deshaun underestimated how close Liana is with Shan as she exposes the entire Ricard plan, which would start a snowball effect which would eventually lead to Shan's demise.
Worked up a blindside against you last night because they want to separate you from me because they want us to go to the end as a 4.
Obviously, Ricard is a challenge beast, and so he ends up saving himself here by having the immunity necklace. But Shan makes a big mistake in deciding to not turn on Deshaun at this moment. This completely scares Ricard, and as a result, the Operation Vote Out Shan plan would begin. Ultimately, Ricard is able to convince everyone except for Shan and Liana to turn on Shan. Erika also thinks of a brilliant move here to split the votes, and Shan gets blindsided with an idol in her pocket.
I played a good game, and this was a dream come true. I love you, babe.
Once again, I want to give a quick shout out to FlynnMasters for working with me on this video. Everyone please comment on his newest video and say I sent you there. And of course, click right here for the ruthless rise and fall of Ozzy.